Hi, my name's Deb Marnie and I'm from Aussie Maille. Welcome to our chainmail tutorial channel. Hey guys, big hi, hello, how are you? Thank you for popping in today and spending some time with me. Today I've got a fairly simple project for you guys to do. It's using a variation of the Japanese 12 in 2 weave, I guess you could call it. Anyway, it's a nice introduction into Japanese weaves if you haven't done it before. So alright guys, let's just get straight into it. Okay, so here are a couple of sample pieces of the bracelet that we're going to be doing today. This bracelet over here, this one here on the left, this is made with 14 and 16 gauge AWG rings. So the rings I chose to use for this, the big rings here in the middle, are 14 gauge AWG or 1.6 millimeter diameter wire with a ring ID of 9.5 millimeters. The smaller rings here, these ones are also 14 gauge, 1.6 millimeter diameter wire with a ring ID of 4.75 millimeters. And then finally the connecting rings, the little connecting rings you can see here, these ones are 16 gauge AWG, 1.2 millimeter diameter wire, and they have a ring ID of 5/32 of an inch or 3.97 millimeters. And then the smaller bracelet uses a 16 and 18 gauge AWG wire. So again, the big rings here are 16 gauge, 1.2 millimeter diameter wire with a ring ID of 7 millimeters. The smaller flat facing rings are 16 gauge, 3.5 millimeter ID rings. And then the small attachment rings are 1 mil or 18 gauge AWG with a ring ID of 3 millimeters. Okay, so to start this bracelet, I'm going to open up my large ring, and on that I'm going to pop 4 of my smallest rings, the joining rings. Now you can pre-close these joining rings if you want to. I'm just going to close them up as I go along. But it's totally up to you which way you prefer to do that. Okay, so once you've got all 4 of those rings closed up, your next step is to grab some of the middle-sized rings. So grab one of those and put it through 2 of the small rings that we just added. Close that up and add another ring through the same path so that you've doubled your medium rings up. And then taking up another small ring, I'm going to add that to the medium ring. Okay, and again we're going to want to double that up. Okay, so far we've got these. This is how our work should look. What you need to do now is take up another one of your medium rings, feed it through the small rings that we just added to the chain, and before closing, feed it through the small rings that are remaining on our large ring. Okay, so your work looks like this. Close it up and double that ring up. My apologies if my fingers and thumbs are getting in the way. These are small rings and they can be a bit fiddly to work with, but I'll do my best to keep them out of the way. Okay, and then we want to close that ring up. Now this weave is fairly tight in these small attachment rings, so I would advise getting as thin nose pliers as you can. So once we've got to that stage, we then want to take more of our attachment rings and we want to put a pair in each of our medium rings. So 2 small attachment rings for every pair of medium rings that's there. Okay, and one set on the other side. So Japanese weaves are very easy weaves to construct, but they do use a lot of small rings and they can be time consuming. So although they're quite simple, I don't usually recommend intricate Japanese weaves to beginners because of the time that it takes. But this is quite a simple bracelet, so you shouldn't have too much difficulty with it at all. Okay, so once we've added our attachment rings, our work should look like this. We now want to take up another one of our large rings and we want to feed that through all of those attachment rings. And then we want to pop on 4 more attachment rings, just like we did at the beginning, or you can add them after it's closed. It's totally up to you how you construct this. Whatever works easiest and suits your workflow, then go with that. Okay, so once we've closed that large ring up, I'm going to go through and close all my attachment rings. Okay, and then once you've closed all your attachment rings, we just repeat what we did from the beginning. Whoops, one more there. Okay, so we've got our 4 attachment rings. We take up one of our medium rings. We go through 2 of our attachment rings, close it up, double that ring up, okay, then take up another 2 small attachment rings, feed it through the 2 medium rings that we just added, that's 1 and 2. Okay, so once you've got your work looking like that, we now take up another one of our medium rings. We put that through the 2 attachment rings that we just added, and we put it through the 2 remaining rings that is on the large ring there. Okay, and we close that up, and we want to double our medium size ring up. So you just do that by going through the same path. So as I said, it is tight. You may have to wiggle your rings around a little bit to get your rings in place, but you don't want your Japanese weave to be too loose. You want it to hold its form. So just have a little patience and it will go through. Okay, so there you go guys, that's what we've got so far, and we just keep repeating that pattern until you've reached the length that you require. Okay, finishing up with another large ring on the end. So I'll just do that once more for you. So a pair of small attachment rings through each of the medium rings that's in your work. And then once you've got your 4 attachment rings in place, we want to grab one of our large rings. Oh, I've put that in the wrong spot. Let's try that again. Okay. A pair in each pair. All right, so there we go. So our work currently looks like this. We grab one of our large rings. We feed that through those 4 attachment rings that we just put on our work. And then before closing, pop on 4 more of those small attachment rings. Close our large bracelet up, our large ring up, sorry. Close the 4 small attachment rings if you haven't done so already. And our final one. Okay, so this is what our work currently looks like. Take up another one of the medium rings. Go through the first pair of attachment rings on your piece there. Okay, so make sure you don't pick up the middle pair. We don't want to do this and have 1 ring on each side. We want to make sure we go through the first pair of rings. Close that up. Feed a second through the same path. Okay, and once we've done that, we want to grab 2 more attachment rings. Feed them through the pair of medium rings that we just attached. Okay, make sure you double those. Okay, so this is what our work is currently looking like. We then take up another medium ring. Go through the small pair of rings we just attached and the small pair of rings that's still sitting on the large ring. Close that one up and double it up. So as I said, guys, you just repeat all of those steps until you reach the length that you require, making sure that you finish your piece with a large ring as you started it. And then to finish it up, I just added 1 small ring to the large ring, and I would pop my clasp on that, and then on the other end just another small ring to close your clasp onto. So quite a simple attachment point. There you go, guys. There's your very simple Japanese style bracelet, or Japanese weave style bracelet. It's a great introductory piece before you move on to some of the bigger, more complicated Japanese weave pieces. Alright guys, well that's it. That's the tutorial for today. I hope you enjoyed it and you have fun making up this lovely little bracelet for yourself. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up here at YouTube. Share the video if you like, and remember, if you have any questions or comments about the video, we'd love to hear from you, so pop that into the comment section down below. Also, while you're here, if you're not a subscriber yet, then please consider doing that, as it really does go a long way towards helping us and keeps us going with putting these tutorials out for you. And while you're here, don't forget to give our shop link up here a little bit of love, where you can find all the bits and bobs and tools and whatnots that you'll need to make this tutorial and many of the other here on the channel. Alright guys, thanks again for popping in, and I hope to catch you sometime in the very near future. Bye!